Welcome to Bird Camp Radio, where the coveys rise from the high pines, marsh valleys, sagebrush seas, and the shelf rock ledges. Here at camp, the fire's always glowing, the dogs are never far, and the stories of birds, wild places, and the upland life are just beginning. This is Bird Camp Radio. Before we get into today's episode, I want to thank a company Rachel and I personally trust, Pet Commute. We have worked with them several times ourselves, and I can tell you firsthand, they are reliable, safe, punctual, and they give frequent transport updates. That peace of mind matters, especially when it's your dog. If you're a breeder, buyer, trainer, running field dog trials, traveling to a hunt, or honestly just need to get a pet somewhere safely, Pet Commute is a perfect fit for bird dog folks. They offer free transportation quotes, and make sure to mention Bird Camp Radio to get 10% off your pet's travel. Check the link in the show notes, our social media bios, or the comments. I highly recommend them. Welcome back, everyone, to the Bird Camp Radio podcast. I'm your host, Kellen Golightly, and we're excited to be here for episode 38 with Mike Dziki. He had sent in his bio a little bit earlier, and I'm going to read that for us real quick. Mike Dziki is a lifelong bird hunter, dog man, and occasional upland guide based in Clear Lake. At 64 years old, he brings decades of experience in the uplands, spending between 65 and 90 days afield each year pursuing grouse, woodcock, and sharptail. A veteran of the United States Army Rangers, Mike served in the Middle East before returning to his lifelong passion for bird dogs and upland hunting. He has owned German Shorthaired Pointers for most of his life, following in the footsteps of his father, who had some of the earliest Shorthairs in their area. For the past 25 years, Mike has developed and maintained his own breeding lines of German Shorthaired Pointers. 5 years ago, he added English Cocker Spaniels to his kennel and has recently expanded further with 2 Brittanys, one 2 years old and another 7 months old. Mike is a senior hunt test judge and has extensive experience competing in cover dog trials and field trials with his dogs. While he no longer competes, he remains deeply involved in the bird dog community and continues to spend his seasons doing what he enjoys most, hunting wild birds behind good dogs. In addition to his personal hunting pursuits, Mike occasionally guides upland hunters and has built a loyal client base, particularly among hunters traveling from the southern United States. His lifelong dedication to bird dogs breeding, judging, and hunting has made him a respected voice in the upland community. Mike, we're excited to have you on. How are you doing today?
It was nice to finally get together.
I know. We actually tried doing this a day earlier, and due to some complications, it's been difficult. But I think we'll make this work today. But the good thing for you is you played the rapid fire around the campfire game yesterday. You kind of got an idea of what to look at now, and we'll do that again. So you have a bit of an advantage.
Okay.
All right. If you're ready, we're ready to go.
Whenever you're ready.
All right. Favorite wild bird to chase?
Grouse.
Most challenging bird?
Rough grouse.
Favorite dog trait?
Compatibility.
Best bird for eating?
Rough grouse.
Go-to field snack?
Probably Snickers.
Dream hunting destination?
New Zealand.
Favorite month to hunt?
October.
Game bag or vest?
Vest.
Solo hunt or with a group?
Solo hunt.
Lead or still shot?
Combination of both depending on the area.
All right, there we go. That was a little bit quicker without our problems from yesterday. And we'll release that at the end of the podcast.
At least we don't have the delay like we did yesterday.
That's right. That is right. So I was actually able to understand you a little bit more. So favorite, I mean, your dream hunting destination. I have the same. I would love to absolutely go to New Zealand and hunt. It's always been one on the bucket list. Hopefully one day, maybe.
Well, they got a variety of big game. They also got upland birds too. Plus, they've got phenomenal brown trout fishing. So you could do a cast and blast.
Yeah, I couldn't complain with that at all. I would say no, that would be a lot of fun. Hopefully both of us one day will have that opportunity. No, so looking at this, I mean, we kind of talked about this a little bit earlier, and for the ones that are new to the Bird Camp Radio podcast, what we like to do is bring uplanders from all walks of life across the United States and Canada and talk about how they got into upland game and the tradition. So we just want to focus on your bio today and get to know you a little bit more and what you do in upland hunting.
Okay.
So kind of just going right into it. Like, where did it all start for you?
It started on the East Coast. We lived in Boston. We had a cabin in Maine. Well, we call them cottage, same thing as a cabin. So we upland hunted and we did a lot of sea duck hunting. I told my dad that I wanted a Chesapeake, and he's like, "That's fine. You got to save for it," because the breeder at that time, you got to remember, I'm 64. So the breeder at that time, the puppies were $2,000 back then. So I spent 2 years shoveling snow, cutting grass, saving for a pup. I got her trained, and we had a group of guys that would come with us. So we would take them sea duck hunting in the morning, come back. Mom and grandma would make breakfast for everybody, change in upland clothes, and follow their short hairs, their Brittanys, their setters, their cockers, whatever they had. And um, so I got to hunt behind a lot of breeds of dogs when I was 9, 10, 11 years old.
Yeah, I can only imagine. I mean, like you said, then a dog that expensive, I can't imagine nowadays. I mean,
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. Sea duck.
yeah. When we got older, my dad's company got bought out by 3M, and we moved to Minnesota. And duck hunting in the Midwest, unless you're in the Dakotas, is a joke. I mean, we could sit in our rock blind in Maine, and we would have ducks flying all day long. You would pick your shots. Every fifth flock, every sixth flock. Here, I don't know, I lost my Chessie when she was 16, and I don't know, I kind of got out of duck hunting and then got back into bird hunting again before I joined the service.
That makes sense. Okay. And so, I mean, you served. Thank you for your service to our country. How did that play into all of this? Like, how did you end up being a ranger?
I joined, went into the airborne right away. After the airborne, I joined the 10th Mountain. They were dissolving the 10th Mountain Unit in New York, and I requested a transfer to the 75th Rangers, got accepted, and went through Ranger School, which is a year of living hell. Those that have been in it, any of the special forces, Rangers, Berets, SEALs, night crawlers, Marine Special Ops, it's 9 months to a year of tough training. We had a 45% dropout rate in our class, and graduated, got stationed in Washington State, and did over 20 years.
Wow. And now I'm guessing at this point you're retired and living the good life, hunting birds.
Yeah, we when I was finishing up, we bought some land in Clear Lake, Wisconsin, and first thing we did it right. First thing we built was the barn for the horses. Pastured everything, then built the house. So we got the 14 dogs, 5 horses. 4 of the dogs are herding dogs. They're Pembrokeshire corgis. And then my pack is 8 short hairs, 2 English cockers, and 2 Brits. They range from 13 years to 11 months.
Wow, got quite the range there. Yeah, I'd say you got quite the string, and I've been able to see. You've been sending me pictures, and of course we'll be able to get a few of those posted on our social media for everybody to see. But that's quite the pack you got there.
Yeah, I will, I'll always have short hairs. Um, there are a lot of good breeds. The short hair just fits my temperament and what I want to do. The English cocker was, I wanted a cocker. I hunted with a lot of cockers, and I knew a well-known breeder in Minnesota. She had a litter, so I got pick of the litter female. The problem with never having a flushing dog, trying to have somebody help me was, I always gave my wife a hard time that horse people were crazy. Well, dog people are just as bad. And I got more ridicule from people. Why'd you buy a cocker? I've never had a cocker, blah, blah, blah. So a gentleman who was a friend of mine who passed away 2 weeks ago in Scotland, Andy Cullen, his name has been all over the internet, reached out to me one time and said, you know what, I'd be more than happy to help you online with your puppy. And every 2 weeks we would text each other on Instagram. He would give me tips of what to do. I would videotape it, send it to him, and he would help me fix it, do what I did. About 4 or 5 years ago, he came to Michigan for a Cocker Spaniel clinic, and I got to meet him finally after talking to him on the internet forever. And this was more geared to field trialing and hunt testing, and I had no intention to ever trial her. She was a hunting dog, and he would come out with every contestant, help them work their dogs, and he hit me in the back of the shoulder. He said, I'd hunt with you and that little cocker any day of the week. She's just, is she field trial ready? No, but you don't want to do field trials. Is she hunting ready? She's a little buzzsaw. So after I got another one from Kentucky, and then 2 years ago, I lost my 16-year-old. I showed you the pictures of them four. She passed away. I was in a bad spot, and a well-known breeder in Iowa who has short hairs, Brittanys, and setters called me up and said, "Come on down. It's your birthday. Come on down. We'll have some fun." I'm like, "All right, why not?" Pulled into his driveway, and here's a little Brittany puppy running around the yard. And he walked up and said, "Happy birthday." And that was Addie, my first one, who just titled with the AKC, who is going to be a great dog. I mean, she's Nolan's last bullet bred. I mean, line bred bullet breeding. So I expect a lot from her. 10 months ago, a friend of mine called me up and said, "Do you know this breeder?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I know him." "Well, his wife is not doing well. He's got puppies. Can you help sell them?" "Sure, no problem. I know 8,000 people online with dogs." So got on all my groups and said, "Hey, he's having some problems. Wife is sick. Can we help him out?" And I think that night I sold 7 for him. And
Wow.
he he called me and said, "That little orange and white female that you really like." I said, I can't afford her right now. I got to buy tuck dryers for South Dakota." He said, "No, no, you come and pick her up. I'm not charging you a dime for her." So, and she's field trial bred. I mean, strictly her parents, and grandparents, and great grandparents are either AFCs or NFCs or dual champions. So, for a 10-month-old puppy, she she's a little rock star. She's gonna be she's gonna be fun this year. Her first year chasing grouse, it'll be probably a comedy act with her. But I think when she settles down a little bit, she's gonna be as good, if not better, than my other one.
Oh, it sounds like it. Got a lot to look forward to this year, it seems like. And I'm looking at your background there. Is that some of your medals up above you?
Yeah, some of the ribbons that I've gotten in field trials and uh, different tournaments that we did. Couple confirmation show wins. So um, I don't really. I mean, I still hunt test the dogs, but I've given up on field trialing. I just you don't have enough time to do 100 things all the time. You gotta. Right now, I'm just concentrating on training. Yeah, I've got a couple dogs in, and I'm just getting ready and waiting for fall. We've already got our trip planned to South Dakota, so
There you go. That'll be good. When are you going to South Dakota?
we're leaving the 29th of September or coming back on the 5th. We're gonna go chase sharptail, but we don't go to Pier. We go to the northwest corner. We go to Lemon, South Dakota, and
Okay.
we're 12 miles from the North Dakota border. So
Okay, so you're up there.
yeah, we're
Oh, that'll be good.
right up in that northwest corner, and we stay at a state park. They got little cabins, bunk beds. It's not the Taj Mahal, but it's a warm bed, hot shower. They got coffee pots, so hey, that's all you need.
Gets the job done at the end of the day. I mean,
Yeah,
you're not there
exactly.
playing anyway. Time. I love it. So, I mean, 25 years ago, you got into breeding your own line of short-haired pointers. What was that like? I mean, now we've kind of seen how it's progressed over the years. I mean, we can see that in the background right here, and you talking about it. What was that like?
So my first short hair, when we built our place, I told my partner, I told Jen that I wanted a hunting dog, and she said you can have anything but a lab. Everybody and their brother's got a lab. Pick something else. So I wrote a list of every breed I ever hunted with when I was a kid and a young adult, and we spent weeks talking and driving to different breeders, and I narrowed it down to a German Shorthair or an English Pointer, and went back and forth and talked to some friends, and they're like, "Well, the Midwest is a Shorthair stronghold. If you ever decide to breed, you'll have an easier time of selling puppies. English Pointers are great, but there's not a big market in this area for English Pointers." So I got on a list with the gentleman. I got on a second list. Um, the one breeder called me up and said she had a false pregnancy, and I panicked. I'm like, great, now what? I mean, I've waited 20 years for a dog. So I called the other breeder, and I'm like, is there still room to be on your list? And he goes, you know what? Since you and I have known each other, I'm not keeping a puppy. You get my pick. So he gave me his pick of the litter, female. So I picked out Sarah. Um, Friend of mine helped me train her. We got her titled, got her some field trial points on her. And that breeder in Iowa that gave me a Brittany puppy, I've gotten a dog from him also. My black stud is one of his dogs. Had an 8-week-old liver roan short hair male running around the yard. And this little puppy, I've seen a lot of short hairs in my days. This little puppy was stunning. And Jenny looked at him and said, when he's ready to breed, we're breeding Sarah to him. Sarah's hips were all done. She came back excellent. We, Ajax grew up, got his hips done. We bred a beautiful litter of short hairs. I mean, I had a friend of mine who had short hairs forever, came out and said, that is a nice litter. Which one are you keeping? So I kept the female. But I posted it when we started our website. I put it up there. that we had puppies available. I had 97 emails and people looking for pups.
Wow.
So the pups were gone fast. So she was 3 years old. I got another short hair. Actually, I got one from Chris. That was a German bred short hair. Now this story is this dog was a strange dog. She her first litter was okay, nothing great. The puppy sold. I didn't want to keep nothing. Then she had two back-to-back false pregnancies, and I'm like, you're really not meant to be a mom. So I spayed her and got her titled. Was working on her master title through the AKC. A friend of mine called me and said, my dog died. I need a dog, and would you ever sell Micah because you can't breed her? I said, well, she's not going to be cheap. And Jen's like, give him a break. You know him. I said, I'm not going to lose the farm on her, all the work we've put into her. So I said, all right, for $2,000, you can have her. Well, she had the best home that any dog could possibly have. Front seat of the truck was hers. He was retired, hunted all over. The thing with Micah is, being German bred, she hated anything that moved. So she's killed porcupine, she's killed coon, feral cats. So he was in Arizona. He went to Arizona all winter long. He called me up one day, said, you want to hear about Micah's latest kill? I'm like, oh God, no, what did she kill now? A bobcat. What do you mean
Wow.
what do you mean a bobcat? Well, we were hunting quail, there were 9 of us with 5 dogs, and I couldn't find Micah. And all of a sudden I heard that deep bark that she had. She sounded like a Doberman when she barked. And I ran over there and she had a bobcat cornered against the yucca cactus. The cat swiped, missed. She jumped in and ripped out his throat and killed it. I'm
Wow.
like, well, what the hell? What did you do? Well, we called the warden and we got it tagged, and I got to keep it. So in his house, as you walk in his front door, there's a ledge. There's a bobcat swiping at you with a plaque saying Micah's trophy. That dog, that dog hated anything that walked on 4 legs. I mean, the amount of coons that it killed. But the German bred dogs were like that. They were bred basically to kill anything that moved.
Wow. That is quite the story right there. Cold-blooded killer. I kind of heard that from several other people who have had some of those German bred dogs. I mean, like you said, it's just in their blood to do that.
Well,
It's
they
crazy.
still hunt wild boars and deer in Germany with them. So it's.
Right.
I mean, she never would have attacked a person. She was a lovable dog, but rabbit, I mean, the amount of skunks that she killed. It's just where my other dogs are a little more modern breeding. They're Hillhaven Hustler, which is a famous short hair. Um, Rawhide Clown, which is a famous short hair. So I combined clown breeding for the ability clown had in the run, and Hillhaven Hustler for the pretty. So, because a lot of the short hairs had a tendency to be real snipey, narrow-headed, almost like English pointers. And I like a big blocky head, a bigger head. And Hillhaven had a beautiful blocky head, so I bred my field trial bred dogs to a Hillhaven bred dog, and the puppies had the beautiful look, but could run like the wind.
Wow. Got everything that you wanted. Perfect mix. I love it. So I got a question. So I mean, you've been able to kind of have a little bit of it all between your pointing and flushing dogs. What's it been like being able to own both of those?
Um, The cockers are a different breed. Um, they I mean, when I hunt my short hairs, I'll put their trackers on and they're gone. They'll check in on me, make sure I'm still standing upright. Where the cockers are hyper focused on you. I mean, they're 25, 30 feet in front of me doing the windshield wiper pattern, but they're always want to know where you are. And Jen likes the cockers a lot. She probably likes them more than the pointing dogs. Um, they're both water fanatics. Um, I don't hunt them together. When I grouse hunt, it's either the pointers or the cockers by themselves. Now, when we go to South Dakota, I'll hunt test. I'm bringing 4 dogs of my own, 2 short hairs, the Brittany and the cocker, and I'll hunt the cocker with my older short hair. So they're a pretty good 1-2 punch when we hunt together. But the cockers, they're obviously you have to be ready for the flush. I mean, they'll let you know when they're on a bird. All of my southern clients, when they come up, they'll see me load dogs, and they're like, well, "Don't forget Tess." I'm like, "No, she's going." I mean, they're Kentucky, Alabama, the Carolinas, Tennessee, so they're used to all their plantations with cockers. Because 90% of the plantations down there got rid of the labs and went to cockers. So, um, and that's a story in itself. So, um, how I got to Southern clients, I donate a grouse hunt to, I belong to every organization known to man. I belong to, and even though I don't hunt them, I belong to PF, QF, Rough Grouse, Woodcock. I'm a founding member of the Woodcock Association, Prairie Grouse Initiative, DU, Delta Waterfowl, uh, the Prairie Grouse Initiative, Sage Grouse Initiative. So, I mean, every bird organization I belong to. And um, I don't pheasant hunt a lot. I've got pheasants all around me. I feed about 20 of them all winter long. So my area, Wisconsin's a put and take state, but in the 4 counties around my house is a stronghold of the wild pheasant population because of all the work PF chapters have done and Pheasants Forever. So I'll go out with buckets of sunflower seeds if it's 40 below and dump it on the ground for the birds to have something to eat. But I wanted to do something to give back, so and I really like quail, so I donate a grouse hunt to Southern Quail Forever chapters. And the first time I did it, four gentlemen from Kentucky came up, and they said they got into a bidding war. It stopped at about 1,500 before they quit. So and they've been coming up here for 9 years now. They're like, "Do you have any room for us?" I'm like, "Absolutely. You guys are welcome anytime you want to come." The first time they came up, they were unloading their truck. I said, "Once you unload the dogs," they came up Thursday night. They drove up. We were going to hunt Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I gave them another day, Monday, and said, "Let's put the dogs in the barn. They'll be fine." And they're unloading short hairs, and I'm like, "What the hell?" And they're like, "What?" I said, "I thought you guys would have pointers." They're like, "What the hell do we want them for?" I said, "Come on, you guys are stuck now. We don't want no pointers. Those are county line dogs. We won't see them in the next county." And I'm like, they now these are southern, they're 60, 70-year-old southern guys that basically it is what it is with them. They're not going to pull any punches. And I was loading a dog, and one of them saw a cocker sitting there, and, "Oh, you have a cocker?" I said, "Yeah, it's Tess." "Well, she's not going to sit in the barn." I said, "No, she sits in the front seat of the truck." "Oh, great, we love cockers." So every spot we hunted, they're like, "Get the cocker out." I said, "She's hunted 4 times. Let's give her a break. Let's take the other dogs out. We can't wear her little legs out." But so
No,
that's how I got a lot of my southern clients. Is they either won the hunt or they were friends of the guys that won the hunt. They would call me up and say, "Hey, how much would you charge us to come up?" And after a while, it's like, when I found out how much the hunts were going for, 12, 15, $1,800, I'm like, "You guys can come up for nothing. Don't worry about it." I said, "We got more land than we know what to do with. I got the room. We got the dogs. Let's go and have some fun." And I just got a call yesterday. The boys from Kentucky and Tennessee will be up here in October for a couple of days, so we'll have our get together reunion again, like we do every year.
that sounds like a lot of fun. I mean, that's really cool. I always find it really neat when uplanders like you find a way to be able to give back to the community in ways like that, whether that be like what you're doing with your guided hunts, as well as being a part of these conservation communities and giving back to it. Because I mean, at the end of the day, without that, we're not going to have it.
No, we're not.
So
And the problem is, to me, if you're a grouse hunter, you should belong to RGS. If you're a pheasant hunter or quail hunter, you should belong to one of the two organizations. If you can't afford $35 a year, you have a problem. I mean, I'm a life member of RGS, life member of different organizations, and it's just um, like you said, if we don't have these organizations fighting for us, we don't have anywhere to hunt. I belong. I'm a regional. I'm trying to be a regional director for backwater hunters and anglers. I belonged to them for quite a while, and it's just without organizations fighting for us, we're going to lose all our public land.
yeah, I completely agree. I actually just joined BHA a few months ago, and it's amazing to see what kind of work they and dedication they actually do, and actually the fights that they're willing to fight for our public lands. It's amazing to be able to be a part of something like that because, as you said, if we don't have this, we're not putting our money towards what we want.
Right.
They're just gonna take it. Even when we do, they still try to. So
Oh yeah. I
it's
mean, they're basically all those organizations as a watchdog, and they'll spread the word. Well, and that was like in down south when they were, when they pushed that bill in training dogs. I mean, they had so many people respond to them about that. Like that's not going to happen because I know a lot of bird breeders, and that would have put them out of business.
right.
You know, field trials would have gone out of business. You wouldn't be able to do any tournaments. So it's just like, you know, I think the government doesn't understand when sportsmen unite how big of a group it is. Yeah, you might, oh, I don't like labs. Oh, I don't like short hairs. Okay, but when push comes to shove, we're all hunters. And when somebody's trying to take our land away from us, then it doesn't matter what breed you have. You need to stand side by side and say, you're not going to let this happen.
I completely agree with that. I mean, we got to see that. I mean, I'm here in Utah, and we all know, I believe everybody on this podcast knows Senator Mike Lee and what he's been up to with our public land disputes. And it's amazing to be able to see what everybody can do when we all unite together. Like you said, put away our differences. When it comes to our public lands, it's one common denominator we have, and it's great to be able to see that we're able to still have that voice when we decide to, and still have that power, like you said.
Right.
No, that's great, and I love to be able to hear when these guys like you are out there making the difference. I mean, it takes. I mean, you give and you take, and that goes with our land as well. So I love it. All right, everyone. Quick shout out to our friends at Pet Commute. If you ever tried coordinating dog transport yourself, you know it's not simple. Whether it's a new pup coming home, a finished dog heading to a buyer, a field trial trip, or even, let's be honest, your wife needing her little mutt transported safely, Pet Commute handles it professionally. Rachel and I have personally transported with them, and I can confidently say they are reliable, safe, punctual, and they keep owners updated the entire trip. They offer free quotes, and if you mention Bird Camp Radio, you'll get 10% off your pet's travel. Hit the link in the show notes, comments, or our socials. Looking into like those hunts that you do, I mean, how did you get into the guiding in order to allow you to be able to do what you're doing with it now, giving back?
Um, Basically, it was people asking me to take them out. I was taking friends out, and then their friends would ask, and their friends would ask, and I'm like, you know what? I wonder if I could. Wisconsin, you have to be licensed to guide, and I got my license, and I started advertising, and basically it was word of mouth of guys coming and going with me. Um, I've got a pack of dogs I can use. If you want to bring your dogs, that's fine. Um, my PF chapter that I belong to, we have a youth hunt every year, and I donate a grouse hunt to one of the youth hunters. It's either father son, daughter father, and the kids have a good time. I mean, they might pheasant hunt with dad, but grouse hunting is a different world. We we took one father son out one time, and I had my old short hair out. She locked up on point, and he started running to the point. I'm like, "Don't run!" And he face planted himself, getting hung up. I mean, and I'm trying not to laugh. I mean, I'm biting my lip. And his dad come up behind me. He goes, "Oh hell, that was funny as hell." He got up and dusted himself. Luckily, it was a woodcock, so it was still there. But um, I'm like, "Don't run in this. You're gonna end up killing yourself."
That is funny. That leads to another part that I'd like to talk about. What is Wisconsin like when it comes to hunting upland game? I don't know much about it. I mean, I'm actually going to be visiting Wisconsin
Well,
in
we're
2 months for an.
we're known for grouse and woodcock. I mean,
Okay.
either the top state or the top, two states. Um, there is millions of acres of public land that is managed for grouse and woodcock. Um, and they publicize the best spots to go to. I mean, the most famous spot obviously is Park Falls, the grouse capital of the world. Um, but there's other counties just as good, if not better, that don't get the recognition or the traffic. Um, Woodcock, same thing. If uh, This year we're having some rain. We've had a drought the last couple of years. Woodcock flights have been horrible because it's been so dry. So, I mean, there were years where we could go into a woodcock spot and have 50, 60 points in a day if we got into a flight.
Wow.
Um, Last couple of years, if we got into 15 or 20 in a day, we were lucky because it's been so dry. But
Wow.
um, there's a lot of times if I'm hunting with a friend of mine, it's like there was one day the grouse were being really weird, and we come back to the truck, have some coffee, like the hell with the grouse, let's go woodcock hunting. I'm like, all right. So we were getting into bird after bird after bird after. I mean, it was every 100 feet. I said, we're going to be done in about 20 minutes if we shoot every bird. He said, all right, every fifth or sixth bird we'll shoot. All right. So what could have been a half hour, 45-minute woodcock hunt, we turned into 4 hours because
Wow.
we came back to the truck twice and switched out dogs. So, we did 15 birds, 20 birds. All right, let's go back and get Sparky and Buffy. I think the last hunt we had two young pups. They were 9 months old, and they were going crazy pointing woodcock. So I mean I love grouse, but woodcock has got a special place. It's a more relaxed hunt. Um, you can have your gun open. You can relax walking up to the point. It's kind of like a gentleman's hunt, like they do for quail back in the day. Well, grouse, you got to be ready. Yeah, you have a pointing dog, but you still got to be ready because that bird's going to bust. Where a woodcock, unless the dog runs over it, it's a nice leisurely. So when I take out a youth hunter, it's always let's wait till October, let's wait till the woodcocks show up, and then we'll go out and have some fun because it's a lot more action, and actually you get to shoot.
That makes sense. See, I've here where we're at, never hunted woodcock, of course, here in Utah. I'd like to have an opportunity at some point to be able to have that one day. Get
Yeah,
out there somewhere. So
yeah. I mean, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Minnesota are. I think Michigan's the number one state for woodcock. They usually, but Minnesota, Wisconsin are right there, right behind them. Grouse varies from year to year. One year might be Michigan, one year might be Wisconsin, but all three states have got millions of acres of public land available, which they manage.
right. No, that's amazing. That's good to know. Get to know a little bit more about Wisconsin and what you guys are doing over there. That's fun. No, this has been a lot of fun having you on, Mike, and getting to know you a little bit more. But as we already know, I always like to ask one question before closing out, and that's, do you have any advice that you'd give new hunters coming into the tradition, or even just guys who have been in it their whole lives? You can answer it one or the other or both at the same time.
Um, Somebody coming into it, it's don't take yourself serious. I mean, I can remember when I was 8, 9, 10 years old, how many grouse I missed the first time I went out, how mad I would get. My dad would just shake his head and like, seriously? And he's like, you'll figure it out eventually. It's if you can't. There are times when I've gone out, I have not brought home a bird, and I've had some of the best days. 50 degrees, bluebird sky with a friend of mine or by myself and my dogs. I don't care if I bring a bird home or not. If I bring it back, it's a bonus. If I don't, I'm still having a good time with my dog. And
That's right.
I never take it serious. I got to get birds. I got to get birds. Well, like somebody once told me, chicken is cheap. So if you're that desperate for a bird, chicken is cheap. You know,
That's right.
you,
I love it. I
you are
love it.
not going to come home with a limit of grouse. I only
I
know
love to
two.
hear it.
I only know two people that can consistently get 5 grouse when they go out, and one I've known forever. The other one, but they're both retired and they probably hunt 90 to 100 days a year, and
Wow.
they can shoot. They shoot all year long. But to them, it's the same thing. You know, they've gotten 5 birds a couple of times, but then usually it's like one or two and they're done. Or if they have a puppy, they'll take the older dog out, get a couple of birds, and then spend the rest of the afternoon with the. That's what we did last year. We had um, I had my pup. He had a young dog. We both had 2 grouse, and we took puppies out. I took out a blank pistol. I'm like, I don't need any more birds. 2 grouse is more than enough for the both of us. You know, the last day we hunted together 2 years ago, last day of the season, we had 2 cockers, 3 English pointers. We put up 52 grouse and we got 10. We both got 5.
Wow.
I got a picture on my tailgate with 5 grouse, a 410 over and under, and 2 woodcock. And everybody's like, "You didn't use a 410." And I said, "Yeah, well, yeah, they all died of a heart attack." But it's like, no, I had my,
love it.
I had my 410.
That is awesome. No, I love it. I mean, that's great advice, I'd say. I mean, at the end of the day, it's more of the memories than anything. And like you said, chicken's cheap. If you're going for that, might as
Yeah,
well just go.
yeah. If you're looking for just food, go to the grocery store. I mean, I bring a camera, I bring a GoPro, and there are one religiously. I hunt with 3 guys, and if they can't go, I'm going by myself no matter what I'm going. But we're all the same. If we get 1 or 2 birds, hey, that's a great day. If we see 30 birds and get maybe 5 shots, but the dogs did great, that's even better. You know, it, grouse hunting is it's based on the amount of flushes. So if you have a 20 bird day grouse hunting, that's a fabulous day. You might get a shot at
I love it.
4 and might kill 1. Don't take yourself
That's
too
right.
serious.
That's right. That's right. We're on borrowed time every day, so you might as well live it and enjoy it.
Right, exactly. Because the fall doesn't
I
last.
love.
Fall ends too fast. In my neck of the woods, my
That's
season
right.
my season starts on the 15th of September, goes till January 6th. I could be done hunting in November if we have a lot of snow because they don't plow the logging roads. And I've known guys that get
Right.
so. I mean, I've had guys stuck with chains on. So I mean, I go as much as I can go. And if I get a bird, I get a bird. If I don't, I'm still having a good time with my dogs. I got pictures of my dogs. And I've quit taking myself serious years ago. Now it's just I'm going out to. My Jenny travels a lot for work, so she's gone a lot. So I'm babysitting the farm most of the summer. Come September 15th, that's my time of the year, and I'm gone as much as I can chasing birds.
There you go. That's quite the life, I'd say. That's the way to live it. No, this has been a lot of fun, Mike, and I appreciate your time coming onto the podcast and sharing more of your story and your dogs and kind of the land that you're out there hunting and the things that you're doing. So we appreciate it. Thank you for coming on.
Oh, thank you. If you ever want to come out and go grouse hunting, let me know. You're always welcome.
Well, thank you. And if you Sam comes here, if you ever want out here in Utah, we got places.
Perfect. Appreciate it. Thanks, Kellen.
Thank you. Thank you again, everyone, for listening to the Bird Camp Radio Podcast. I hope you enjoyed episode 38 as much as I did with Mike. But before you go, we need to release his time for the rapid fire around the campfire game. Mike, your time was 48.77 seconds, which puts you in 20th place. Thank you again, everyone. If you want to find us, you can find us on YouTube now to watch this video. As well, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. We'll catch you next week. You've been listening to Bird Camp Radio, where the high pines, marsh valleys, sagebrush seas, and shelf rock ledges always call us back. Until next time, keep your dogs close, your shot true, and your campfire stories ready to share. We'll see you back at camp. Don't miss out on the next episode, where we'll host our next guest on the podcast. You don't want to miss this one. Thank you.